Consistency. Sort of hard to come by in the year of 2020. However, something that did remain true here in the Lehigh Valley was the level of competition in girls soccer. It is truly some of the best in the entire state. Now, you will always have your dominant teams and programs, but because of that growing level of soccer here in our area, you can never count one team out, which is something I love about covering girls soccer here in District 11. Now, since we're talking positives, another thing I loved about this 2020 season was we were able to bring you guys more live broadcasts of girls soccer games than usual right here on the Service Electric Network, bringing you some of the best competition, rivalries, games that this area has ever seen right to you guys at home. And we were so fortunate and grateful to be able to do that. So now we take a look back at what a fantastic year it was on the girls soccer pitch. Now we're going to start with the Colonial League, which didn't really change too much from 2019. While there were some games that were missed out on, some matches that just did not get to be played because of a bit of a delayed start to the season. However, most of the regular season did stay the same. Now, your favorites in the Colonial League also remained the same. It was your Northwestern Lehigh, Southern Lehigh, Palisades, Moravian Academy. Those four guys pretty much remained at the top like they have in years past, but the biggest difference from the Colonial League to the East Penn Conference here in 2020 was that the Colonial League did elect to have a Colonial League playoff tournament. It was your usual number 1 and number 2 seeds, Northwestern and Southern Lehigh respectively, getting the first round byes. Northern Lehigh, the 6th seed, would end up getting the upset over 3-seeded Moravian Academy. In the bottom half of the bracket, Palmerton, who had a great regular season going 5-1-1, getting into the league tournament as the 4 seed, meeting up with the 5th seed Palisades. The two tied 1-1 during the regular season, but the Pirates would move on with the 2-0 win over Palmerton, but still the Tigers and the Spartans getting back to the Colonial League title game for the 2nd straight year. These two have become great rivals. The Spartans getting there with a 5-0 win and the Tigers a 2-0 victory. And while Southern Lehigh had high expectations for this matchup, it would not go in their favor. A bit of a slow start for the Spartans that would lead to some quick goals by Sophia Modelis, Cameron Fitch, and Kylie Zentz for the Tigers. Northwestern would dominate this one pretty much from start to finish, making it back-to-back titles now for the Tigers with the 3-0 win over Southern Lehigh.
It means everything to me to get it 2 years in a row, and being a senior, I mean, I love to win this. We won districts last year too, so I feel like if we go in confident like we did in this game, I think we can do it.
Now, sort of a different story over in the EPC this year. They would end up playing a few less games. Some teams would be able to schedule some out-of-conference games, but that wasn't the case across the board. And the biggest switch-up really came when they decided to split up the divisions differently than most of these teams were used to. So instead, they would split them up by county. We would now have a Lehigh County division as well as a Northampton County division. Lehigh County is made up of Parkland, Emmaus, Whitehall, Central Catholic, Allen, and Deera. Parkland, however, was the clear leader of this pack. Both unfortunately and fortunately, they were not tested much throughout the regular season. They would go a perfect 10-0. The closest of those 10 games was the first game of the season against Central Catholic, just a 1-0 victory for the Trojans. They would be tested a bit more against Emmaus to round out the regular season, but still would defeat the Hornets 3-1 and 4-1. Now, over in the Northampton County, this one a bit more intriguing. That was made up of Nazareth, Easton, Northampton, Freedom, Bethlehem Catholic, and Liberty. Now, why this division was a bit more competitive was because of the fact that Easton, Freedom, Nazareth, and Northampton were among the top finishers in the District 11 for a tournament in 2019. And now, all having to play against one another twice within one division and within one regular season. Now, I have to admit this division did not exactly play out the way I thought it was going to. Nazareth and Easton ended up being your top dogs over in the Northampton County Division, and naturally, those two would not even end up playing each other until the final 2 games of the regular season, where the Blue Eagles would end up downing the Red Rovers in both of those meetings to then sit atop the Northampton County Division at a perfect 11-0. And they were playing some of the best soccer that I have seen in quite some time, and certainly some of the best soccer in this area. They had a very dynamic offensive attack, which was led by senior Abby James. The Blue Eagles would allow only 6 goals during the regular season while outscoring their opponents 57-6. They would end up being a favorite heading into the District 11 4A tournament as the number 2 seed. And with that, we are going to get right into the district tournament and all 4 classifications. We're going to start with the 1A class. It was just Northern Lehigh and Moravian Academy from our area to make their way into that district tournament. While the Bulldogs would fall short, Moravian Academy would get wins over Williams Valley, meeting up with Minersville then for the 3rd straight season, beating them in the previous 2 meetings. Lauren Reed with a few opportunities in this one as she would finally put away the winning goal with just 8 minutes left. The Lions win it with the 1-0 score, deeming them your 3-time District 11 1A champs.
I tried so hard and I was kind of getting down on myself, but I just had to remember I had just kept having to get so many more opportunities, and I knew I had to get that ball when Grace Sanborn crossed that. I knew I had to get there before the keeper, and I did.
I think we did a good job to get up the field and kind of pick out what they were giving us. They were playing a flat back 4, and we took advantage of that by kind of playing slotted balls to the back because we have a lot of speed. So if they're going to play that flat back 4, we kind of, for the first time in a while, played really intelligently, to be honest. We're kind of used to just relying on our athleticism and our heart, and today we played with a lot of intelligence and skill, and that's what you're going to have to do to beat teams like that.
Now over to the 2A classification, where it was Central Catholic who was sort of that unsung hero over in the Lehigh County Division, where Parkland pretty much dominated all season long. But Central Catholic would have a great end of the regular season. They would end up taking down Whitehall in the final 2 games of the regular season, helping to solidify their spot in the District 11 2A tournament. Those wins would help then to fuel them for what an incredible postseason run it was for them. The Bikettes taking down Salisbury 2-1, then Tamaqua 4-0 to then face Palisades in the title game. This is the 3rd straight year they would find themselves in that championship game, losing the last 2 years, but determined to finish the job here in 2020. Erica Dietz with the game winner in this one. She'd have a fantastic senior campaign with her 11 goals on the year, and this one, not her last game winner either. Central going on to win their 3rd district title in program history and first since winning back-to-back crowns in 2008 and 2009. Now moving over to the 3A classification with Northwestern, who was looking for their 2nd straight District 11 crown. However, this one would be in the 3A class. They won it last year in 2A. They'd get by Southern Lehigh with the 1-0 score, beating the Spartans for the 2nd time this season to then face Pottsville in the championship game. The Tigers would find themselves trailing twice throughout the game, but would respond each time. Sophia Modelis, Kylie Zentz, Lexi Bleem, and Kayla Bardona all getting on the board to help fuel the Tigers past the Crimson Tide 4-2, winning now back-to-back district titles and their 3rd in the last 4 seasons.
It meant everything to us, and we really wanted it, and we just wanted to give every game everything we had because we knew that any game could really be our last. I'm just really thankful that we got to have our final.
Finally, in the 4A classification, we finished with a battle that I think everyone was hoping for. I know I was hoping for in the District 11 4A championship game with Parkland and Nazareth. They were the number 1 and number 2 seeds atop their respective divisions headed into this district tournament, and the biggest factor really was the revenge factor going into this one. The Blue Eagles ending the Trojan season in 2019 in the district quarterfinal round, putting an end to what would have been 5 straight titles for Parkland, but for Nazareth, this is the 2nd year in a row that they would end up in the final, falling short to Freedom last season and looking to change that outcome here in 2020. But the Parkland defense, the strongest group that I have seen all season long, and that would end up paying off for the Trojans in this one, completely stopping the attack of Nazareth, while Emma Schock and Alex Marstell are doing what they have done all season long, Their 2 goals enough to get their revenge and take down Nazareth as they would capture district title number 5 in just the last 6 seasons.
It's absolute so sweet. Like, it was revenge and we wanted it, and we really prepared for it. We knew what we were getting into, and we just practiced really hard all week, and we stayed pumped, we stayed positive. We had those nerves, but they were the good nerves. They were excited nerves, and we were really pumped to get out here and play the game.
Now this season, it was just the winners out of District 11 in each of those 4 classifications to be able to move on into the state tournament. So for 1A, it would be Moravian Academy, 2A, Central Catholic, 3A, Northwestern Lehigh, and 4A, of course, Parkland. Now the Lions would end up making some history after getting the program's first victory in the state tournament. After beating Montrose out of District 2, they would fall to eventual state champ Southern Columbia, the Lions finishing the 2020 season at 10-4, but with a 3-peat in their back pockets. Northwestern in 3A, they too would get a state tournament win under their belts before falling to the state runner-up in Villa Joseph Marie. The Tigers end 2020 with a 17-3-1 overall record, but still walking away league champs as well as 2-time district champs. Now Central Catholic and Parkland would end up making it the furthest for our local teams in the state tournament. The Vikettes with a huge victory in the quarterfinal round over Archbishop Wood, a game that would quite literally come down to the final minute. After pressing Wood's defense more in the second half, Central would finally break through with 30 seconds left. It's Madeline Zoke on the cross and Erica Dietz with the finish. Dietz scoring her 11th goal on the year, but the defense securing the win. Just 12 seconds left now, and 2 shots from Wood would be denied thanks to defender Carly Rohrbach. Central goes on to win it 1-0.
We knew that there were only 30 seconds left. We had to do something. I mean, they're a good team. They're really good. So we knew coming in it was going to be a tough game, but we just had to finish it. And if we got one in, it was going to be over.
We don't have any seniors on our back line, but it's really exciting because we're a little younger. But we're really all just in it forever, and we're really excited. We all know where each other's going. We work well together. We're always there to back each other up. We've been playing great all year. I can't wait to keep going.
Now that was one of the most outstanding defensive efforts that I have seen all season long and maybe in the past few years. And that defense would pay off for Central Catholic even in the next round. And even though they would fall to Bloomsburg, who was the eventual state champ, that goal in their game against Central Catholic would have to come off of a free kick. So certainly something to be proud of if you are the Vikettes, who would finish the year at 12-4-1, and of course as your 2A district champs. Now finally rounding it out in 4A was Parkland, they too making history for the program, getting to that semifinal round with their win over Williamsport. In the quarterfinals, Parkland leaving it all out on the pitch. That night when they would face Penridge, Alex Marsteller would finish with 2 goals. Davey Olatilo also knocking one in for the Trojans, but this one decided in OT. Penridge edging Parkland 4-3, handing them their first loss of the season, finishing with the 14-1 overall record, and of course the program's 13th district title. An outstanding season to say the least, especially when you look at all the obstacles and challenges these teams had to face this year. And that says so much about the players, the coaches, the athletic directors, and of course the administration, who did absolutely everything in order for this fall 2020 season to even happen. And we here at the Service Electric Network were so happy and so excited to be a part of it a bit more this season. We hope that tradition can continue on in the future so we can put more soccer and more teams on TV, because that is truly what we love to do. Congrats again to all of our District 11 EPC and Colonial League girls soccer teams on a fantastic and memorable year.